we are going to look at Deal and Kennedy's corporate cultural model. They found 4 dominant forms of culture. Each of these cultural types has different types of heroes, rituals, and ceremonies, and their strengths and weaknesses are also different. As these are ideal types, you will seldom find them in their pure form. You, as a leader, can use the model to plan your strategy better. You have to plan a strategy that achieves the company's and organization's goals together with your employees. You can have a lot of good plans, but your corporate culture must support these plans. Your employees must be involved and accept the plan. Remember, culture always eats strategy for breakfast. Let us now review the construction of the model. The model consists of 2 dimensions. These 2 dimensions are the degree of risk and feedback speed. The degree of risk placed on the x-axis is associated with the company's activities. The risk of a company's activity is placed low or high. It depends on the company itself and the environment. Risk is not defined by the size of the amount involved, but by the magnitude of consequence if the activity goes wrong. The company going bankrupt is the ultimate consequence. The speed of feedback is placed on the y-axis. The speed of feedback is also placed low or high. It is about the speed at which a company and its employees get feedback on whether decisions or strategies are successful. By feedback, Deal and Kennedy do not mean just bonuses, promotions, and pats on the back. They use the term much more broadly to refer to knowledge of results. Deal and Kennedy distinguish between quick and slow feedback. In this sense, a goalkeeper gets instant feedback from making a great save, and a surgeon may not know for several days whether an operation is successful. At the other end of the spectrum, it may take months or even years to discover whether a decision about a new product or a merger between 2 companies is a success. By splitting each of the 2 dimensions, the degree of risk and feedback speed, we get a matrix consisting of 4 generic cultures. These are the tough guy macho culture in the upper right corner with high degree of risk and high feedback speed. The work hard, play hard culture in the upper left corner with low risk and high feedback speed. The bet your company culture in the lower right corner with high degree of risk and low feedback speed. And finally, the process culture in the lower left corner with low risk and low feedback speed. Culture is an essential subject, and you can consider it a management tool. By knowing and working with culture, you as a leader can get the employees more targeted. You motivate your employees by leading according to their critical values. A strong organizational culture provides informal rules for how to behave, and therefore the leader must be very aware of the culture. In the context of Deal and Kennedy, we look at 5 cultural factors that help define an organization's culture. The first element is the corporate environment. It's about in which industry is the company embedded. The conditions and environment in the industry affect the culture of the company. The second is values, the norms and values that define success and are at the core of the culture. The third is personification. Who personifies the values of the culture? Who are the heroes of the organization? The fourth is rituals and ceremonies. This is about planned activities and informal rules. How do we celebrate victories? How we treat each other in everyday work life. What's fun in one industry is perceived as bullying in another. The fifth and last element is cultural networks. In what social circles do employees and managers move when they are not at work? Each of the 4 culture types are now reviewed in the following sections. The first culture type, tough guy macho, is in the upper right corner. Here we have an environment where the degree of risk is high and the feedback speed is high. For instance, in top sports, TV commercials, day trading, and the film industry. We take significant risks when we make a big movie with famous actors. A lot of money goes into making the film, and there is instant feedback from the audience. It's an all-or-nothing culture. Managers in this type of culture need to be able to make decisions quickly and to accept risk. To survive when things go wrong, they need to be resilient. Despite the label tough guy macho, Deal and Kennedy suggest that this culture is the least discriminatory of the 4 because it is, in their view, a meritocracy in which success is what is acknowledged and rewarded. In macho culture, rituals play a significant role, mainly because it is often a coincidence that comes into play. Stars attach to each other, and there is a generous reward when there is a win. It also means the culture is superstitious. For example, there is the football star who always touches the club logo before a match. Stars are temperamental. The culture is a hero culture. In the macho culture, clothing and accessories such as watches are essential. They must be fashionable. The stars want to stand out and be different, though not entirely different. Accommodation, housing choice, where it is in to live. In sports, the focus is on individual achievements. Popular sports in this culture are tennis or biking. When they speak, they often use words that no one has heard before and make common words uncommon in order to become exceptional. Greeting rituals can be found in macho culture. You enter the reception, and the receptionist does not bother to notice you, and that you have to wait at least 20 minutes for your appointment to show up. We will now look at the work hard, play hard culture in the upper left corner. Here, there is a low degree of risk and a high feedback degree. We find that type of culture in a sales organization with high activity. These organizations are present in industries such as real estate agents, IT companies, car salespeople, and hamburger chains like McDonald's and Burger King. Activity and speed are crucial, and it is important that employees can keep pace. The persistence of the employees measures success. The high levels of energy create 2 main problems for a manager: ensuring that the energy is being directed at the right tasks, and ensuring that quality accompanies high activity levels. For these reasons, IBM put up think signs all around the company. We often find this culture in the sales departments, but it can also be in production departments. The primary values of this culture are the customers and their needs. For example, IBM with the slogan, IBM equals service. In this culture, the effort is measured in quantities and not quality. The heroes are the supersellers who are friendly and generous, and also team effort is crucial. Teamwork, competitions, and sales clubs motivate those who are part of a work hard, play hard culture. Rituals like having good parties and celebrating the big orders are essential. Practices that indicate that the team has made a good effort as a team and celebrate the success. Employees are proud of being part of the team and feel acknowledged. In this culture, the dress code is plain and what is up to date in society. They live on the city's outskirts or suburbs and like to live in the same place for many years. Popular sports in this culture are team sports and sports with action and movement, for instance, softball and bowling. They often use abbreviations and like sports metaphors when they speak. Important employee rituals. It is essential to be part of the community's social gathering. You have met a work hard, play hard culture when you are received kindly in the reception. The receptionist takes your outerwear and offers you a refreshment. We will now look at the bet your company culture in the lower right corner. Here, there is a high degree of risk and low feedback speed. We are talking about large investments and projects that take years to develop. Tesla, operating in the electric car, space, and solar and clean energy sectors, are good examples of the bet your company culture. Significant investments and projects take a long time before finding out if it was a success or a failure. For every investment, there is a risk of putting the entire company's future at stake. Another example includes an aerospace organization deciding to develop a new aircraft, such as Airbus, which has spent many years developing its new A380. In this type of business, it is essential to make the right decisions and settlements, and therefore there is a great sense of awareness everywhere in the company. Because the time horizon becomes so long, years and months, and not days. Meetings are essential in this culture. There are often participants from all levels of the company at the meetings. Only the top leaders speak, and decisions are made from the top down. It is a very hierarchical and very formal company. Bet your company culture is a business with a significant risk, but it often leads to high-quality inventions in return. The dress code in this type of business is conservative, and one dresses to suit one's position in the company. The form of accommodation corresponds to where in the hierarchy one is. The top executives live at the most expensive addresses in the area. Typically, the preferred sport in the bet your company culture is golf. Linguistically, they often refer to history and have a formal language. There is an extensive enrollment procedure in this culture, and you quickly recognize this culture when you visit the company. You do not just go in as you please. They need to know who you are, and therefore you are registered as a guest. You get a name tag to wear while you are there, and often you are followed by an employee around the company. We will now look at the last of the four cultures, the process culture in the lower left corner. There is no single business in the organization that is crucial. Employees get almost no feedback. They can write many reports and often do not get any feedback. Process cultures get a bad press from nearly all quarters. Employees in these cultures may be very defensive. They fear attacks when they have done things incorrectly. To protect themselves, they engage in circulating emails, copied to everyone even remotely concerned with the issue. Lack of feedback makes the employees focus on how they do things and not what they do. Small events can have significance. The employees take care and are timely, orderly, and detail-oriented. We have another name for this culture when the process gets out of control: bureaucracy. Typical examples are banks and insurance companies, utility companies, and many public institutions such as educational institutions. Rituals and ceremonies in this culture are typically very long meetings and best at keeping the set milestones. Among employee rituals, it is typical to discuss circulars and other notes. Titles are essential and put things in order. The dress code is conservative and corresponds to the position one has in the organization. The home is simple and often in the suburbs. Typical sports are jogging and swimming. They answer questions with detailed answers and like to ask rhetorical questions that are difficult to answer, a typical academic approach. There is also an extensive registration process in the process culture when you visit the company, and you have to wear a name tag. We shall now review an example of the use of the model. We look at how a leader in different cultures will handle the problem of declining sales. In a tough guy macho culture, a leader will start by presenting the meeting issue. Since stars and individuals are typical employees in this culture, there will be different solutions, one from each employee. The manager lets them go their separate ways to solve the problem, and he does so because he has hired people who are used to solving high-risk issues. There are therefore a range of proposed solutions, from which one is chosen. Everyone has respect for the chosen solution based on the assumption that it will probably be my idea that is chosen next time. The cultural message here is, we have hired people to solve tasks and issues with high risks. In a work hard, play hard culture, the problem is also presented at a meeting. A group activity is given the task of solving the problem. They are expected to work with team spirit and draw from the knowledge within the organization. The management ensures quality in the group work via questions. When the final decision has been made, it fully supports the decision and launches the decision at a large ceremony. Ceremonies and celebrations are a big part of this culture. The cultural message: it is our energy and unity that creates the results and makes the locomotive run. In the Bet Your Company culture, the manager will ensure that all fronts are covered and the issue is monitored over an extended period. At the scheduled meetings, you, as a leader, will receive a report on the development and status to follow the development closely. When you think it is critical, you set up a working group which prepares a report with a detailed plan for solving it step by step. It is also the leader who ensures that it is the right people who are part of the working group. The cultural message: we must solve the problem correctly because we cannot risk a recurrence of the error. In the process culture, there is a risk that the error will not be detected because they work the way they do. If the error is discovered, the manager often arranges for the introduction of a new procedure. The cultural message is, procedures are essential. Let us now consider a critique of the model. None of the cultures is pure, and the model does not take national cultural differences into account. Besides, there may be different cultures in different departments. However, it is a good guideline concerning industries and understanding the conditions under which a company works.